Thursday, October 24th, 2:26 a.m.
Hey, Miss Angela Barnes. Been digging through your family heirlooms and finding some interesting tidbits here. Get this, there's an old newspaper article. It says that your uncle, the stupendous Siegfried Solomon, mystic, mentalist, man of wonders, if you believe the posters, says that Siegfried's wife, Eloise, ran away with their kid, a baby girl, Stella. I think she was like 2 years old. Yeah, she ran away. She said her life was in danger. They couldn't find her for 2 years. And when they finally did, she'd been living in Brussels, it looks like. I wonder if that's where Brussels sprouts come from. I don't know. I didn't go to a great school. They found Eloise, who changed her name, but they never found baby Stella. They brought Eloise back to the States, where she was institutionalized. And she never, till the day she died, would ever say what happened to baby Stella. Eloise was convinced that her husband Siegfried was planning to kill their baby with magic. Batshit crazy.
Enter a new house of flesh.
She was convinced he was an evil wizard, summoning demons. She refused to let him visit her in the hospital, and one night she strangled herself, they think with a rope, but they never found the rope. Earlier that day, she received a gift from her brother, a box of candy, but it was checked as safe. But get this, her brother said he never sent it to her. And the thing that ties all this creepy, wacky crap together, I found this article, this clipping, in a book of demonology. Yeah, it was being used as a bookmark. I mean, Angela, your family may be more of a train wreck than mine. I mean, it's no wonder that Mr. Barnes, Gary, he always said, "Call me Gary." Gary used to give me this look like he felt sorry for me. And I thought he was judging me, like I wasn't good enough to be around Edie. But I think he may have known how badly things were gonna go for me. I mean, they were never gonna end well. I had no idea that Gary was such a risk taker, a gambler, right? I mean, neither did you, right, Angela? I mean, if you knew, you would have saved a lot of money. Your money, down the shitter. He just pissed it away. And then he just runs off. I felt so bad for you, Angela. I did. We all felt bad for you. But I don't think I feel bad for you now. I think maybe Mr. Barnes, I think you saw what he was and what his problems were. You had to see it. And if you saw them in him and you were ignoring them in him, you had to have seen Edie had him too. And you didn't do anything about it. Or maybe you did. Yeah, I think maybe you did. That was my job, wasn't it? Yeah, I was your family's adopted rescue animal. Your charity case. But it wasn't charity. I had a job, right? Keep Edie grounded, because nobody ever said it, but I'd have so much to lose if I suddenly got shut out of your lives. And unlike poor Edie, I knew what it was like to be a have-not. No one in my family ever went to Yale or Harvard, but none of us were stupid. We knew that the scholarships and all the opportunities that came my way, they were rewards. They were table scraps, because I was there to help keep Edie grounded and keep her from destroying herself, wasn't I? I mean, I talked all about this with my therapist in prison. Prison, there's a place I never thought I'd be. I always kept my nose clean. Ironic that your wonderful, respectable family wound me up in there. Yeah. And boy, my parents were furious. They blamed me for ruining my future and cutting off their connections with your friends and ruining their future. If only I'd known way back in the beginning when I saw that Edie had the same glimmer in her eyes that Mr. Barnes had. I walked in on him and he was placing a bet on the computer. Yeah, I never told you. He had the same glimmer in his eyes that Edie would get, and she would goad me to start a fight with people we didn't know at a bar, or when Edie would dare me to floor it with the headlights off and see how far I'd be willing to push it, driving like a bat out of hell at night and not knowing where the next curve or tree might be. She liked it dangerous. Her life in the cul-de-sac was way too stagnant for her. Does it ever bother you that that you brought me into your lives and now your daughter is in a wheelchair? But I think it would bother you even more if you hadn't brought me in. And then she might wind up where she is or worse, and you wouldn't have anyone to blame. You'd have to just say you were a bad mother, or she was a bad seed, or both. I'm a good scapegoat. I mean, I never told you, but I'm sure you suspected what happened that night. You have to know somebody like me could not have afforded all those expensive designer drugs they found in the car. Where would I get that money? Did you ever bother to ask yourself? You probably worked really hard not to think about it. But Edie, I could never say no to her because your plan really worked. I was devoted. I loved her. If I had gone off that embankment only about 3 minutes later than I did, the paramedics would have found your daughter as high as a kite. Yeah. She just was too busy berating me and smacking the shit out of me because I insisted on taking her home because she was getting out of control. She just hadn't gotten around to pumping that shit into herself. Did she ever tell you how sick she was of you and everybody else trying to make her be who she wasn't? She hated that expensive school. She hated the vapid, self-absorbed douchebags you tried to set her up with so she'd forget about me when you started to see I was a bad idea. She even hated ballet. How many thousands of dollars did you spend on ballet? She couldn't stand it, but she did it. She practiced it like a habit, a nervous habit. She made me her poison of choice, and it killed all of us, didn't it?
End of messages.